At Eastbourne Primary School, we've got about 400 kids at the moment. It's regarded as a disadvantaged area. We have two mantras. One is more than 12 months growth in 12 months for the students, and also that disadvantage is not a reason to not be successful.
Our school culture is evidence-based. We spend a lot of time working with our staff to make sure they're using evidence to be precise in their teaching, and also to reflect on the effect of their teaching so that they can see the difference they're making with kids. To me, feedback is absolutely a key component of personalised learning, and one of the things that we looked at was the work of John Hattie and the importance of feedback from the teacher to the student, but also from the student to the teacher. So using assessment data to analyse the effect that our teaching is having on kids and building teachers' self-efficacy through that. One of the things that we did along the way was developed what we called our personalised learning passion team. That was a time for teachers to come together and talk about what is effective teaching to us in our school and come up with a shared vision. One of the things that we've been focusing on lately is how we can use data to evaluate the effect of our teaching with kids. A lot of the time we've focused on, they've made progress, so we're having a positive effect, but what we're aiming for is how are we getting greater than expected progress over periods of time.
Well, I think before you can look at it, you've got to consider what the benchmark is. Okay. Where are you hoping they would be within that time frame? Professional learning teams meet on a weekly basis. We use that time to reflect on data, look at the effectiveness of our teaching throughout a cycle and plan for future learning. And our focus isn't on being at the top, it's always about how much progress have you made. Today in our meeting, we need to focus on reviewing the cycle of place value we've just completed and to make a list of those kids that have achieved their next step so that in our meeting tomorrow we can share that and celebrate the success that's been made. It's an ongoing process of updating our data. It's done daily. It's not done at the end of a unit because learning happens all the time. So we have to be on the ball and assessing all the time. And we have to be giving our students that feedback all the time because they need to know where they're going to next. And we will continue to push them and we'll continue to have high expectations of what they can achieve.
We want kids to build their efficacy in themselves as a learner, building a growth mindset so that kids can see no matter where they're at along the continuum of learning, they're capable of making progress. Primarily, our work around feedback has been trying to really hone in on what's that next step of learning.
Our focus is on creating a differentiated learning curriculum for the students here at Eastbourne Primary School, and we do that by establishing learning intentions and success criteria. We have that expectation here that every child goes into their learning knowing what they are working towards and what we're looking for in their learning.
Then we unpack that learning intention so that they know exactly how they're going to achieve it and whether or not we have achieved it by the end of the lesson. We have a visual continuum in the classroom where they physically get up and move their name and they have a real buzz when they get to move along.
The students always, in their writing, have their own personal learning goal that they're working towards, and that's put on a little pencil that sits in front of them. They also have an overarching learning goal that is at level 3 standard that everybody is working towards. What I ask from the students is they write with being mindful of what their goal is, and when they've completed the text they have to go through a series of processes before they conference with me. So I ask the students to have a read of their work themselves and check that they have evidence of them at least working towards their goal. Then they also have to go on conference with another student within the grade, and that student's asked to give them one piece of positive feedback, hopefully related to their goal, and also give them some feedback on an area of their writing that they could improve on. We use sticky notes to do that, and then we ask the kids to go and try and incorporate those changes into their writing prior to putting their name on a list to say, I'm ready to conference with the teacher.
You did really good with your paragraphs in your writing, like here and here. Yeah. And I think you might need to improve on your spelling, like with Santa.
Have a proofread and does it make sense?
Yeah, I think you did that really well in your story.
When they come into conferencing, we go through their writing goal and we work out whether they are making progress there or whether they've achieved it. If they have achieved their writing goal, we come together and think, well, what could we add now to make our writing even better? And we list that on their pencil and that becomes their focus through the next cycle. And your writing goal at the moment is what?
Spelling the gold and red
Eastbourne Primary School Super Awards.
Right, beautiful. So that's what we're looking for throughout your writing today. And you've put on here that you think you've written a text with a clear beginning, middle and end. And I can see that. I can see the beginning of your text here, the middle of your text here and the end. So I would agree with you there and give you that mark. As we're reading, I feel together we've made it probably a bit of a clearer message.
Feedback's really important. It's really important for the students and it's really important for us as teachers. So we use lots of different strategies to get information from the students on how we're going and what we need to do in terms of our lessons. In terms of the students' feedback, we always have a reflection at the end of the session and we put reflection cards up so that they know the questions that they're going to be asked. I want you to keep in mind the reflection card. So I am confused about, you might want to answer that. The most challenging thing or today I learned. See if you can answer one of those cards.
I learnt what a square root is and how to work it out.
Fantastic. I think it's obvious that the feedback practices we've been using have been working because students are really keen to seek out feedback and the way they set their goals shows that they're listening to the feedback. That's really important.
Our students' motivations increase significantly. They're much happier in terms of their views of their teachers and their peers as well. So their engagement levels have increased significantly.